Good morning, everybody. It's Jess, Starr with Starr Realty Group, and I have been thinking about this. This real estate market is insane, as I'm sure you can imagine. And, it had me thinking. We have an inventory shortage here in Connecticut, and actually it is a national pandemic of real estate proportions. And what it had me thinking about was all of those people out there that have a home. They may have a second home. They may have family members with homes that have been thinking about selling, maybe thinking about retiring, maybe moving to a different part of the country or downsizing. And they haven't done anything just yet. They're nervous to get into the market. They don't know where they're gonna go. There's so much anxiety around what they're gonna do. Then I started thinking a little bit more, and I started thinking about those people out there that, they've got their kiddos in school just like me. I've got 4, and we've got some kids in college. We've got kids in junior high and elementary school. And how many of you guys out there have started your kids' college funds? Well, sometimes it creeps up on you and maybe you didn't. Or you might have a lot of kids, so maybe you have one started for one of them, but not for everybody, and it seems like a daunting and overwhelming task. Well, right now we've got a real housing shortage, and I see you guys on here. I appreciate you watching. Hey, Leah, how are you? Feel free to chime in. Leah's a great agent here in Connecticut with me. But what I was thinking about is for all of you guys out there that have kids going to college soon, or, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line even, now may be a good time to think about possibly building a portfolio of investments for yourself. And you might say, Jess, I don't have the extra funds. If I don't have money to do a college fund, how the heck am I gonna go buy another house? Well, we've got a ton of different ways that we could show you how to invest in property in order to start building a college fund for your kids. See, that's what we've actually done for our kids, is we've bought investment properties and we use them as college savings for our kids so that we have tenants in them. They get to enjoy the properties, they get to maintain them, we help as well, but they have a lovely home to live in and they get to pay off the mortgage for us and enjoy a beautiful space in Simsbury, which is difficult to find single family homes. And when they do that, at the end of that, should we be in that position or need to, we'll have the ability to at some point sell that house or pull the equity from that home to go pay off one of the kids' colleges. That's the goal. So if you start young enough, it works. You might say, hey, look, I feel like I am too old to even think about that process to start, but there are so many different ways that you could invest in real estate and for a minimal amount of money to do so. Now, it also had me thinking, what if you had a house and you wanted to go move on to that next house, but you were nervous that you might not have a house in time to buy because you have to sell that house. Well, what if in fact you sold that house and maybe you moved into an Airbnb temporarily, or maybe you moved into temporary housing, or maybe you kept that house and you kept it as an Airbnb for people just like yourself who, when they sell, cannot find anything to rent or rent temporarily. And if you were able to do that, you'd actually be able to charge a premium on your home because it's a shorter amount of time. And what you're doing is people are buying and paying extra to have a shorter amount of time that then affords them the ability to go make offers on properties without the contingency of having to sell their home. So instead of maybe selling that single family smaller starter home, you kept it, and you kept it as an Airbnb for purposes just like this if you were able to do so. So we've got a bunch of great tips and tricks that we'd love to show you. And for all of you grandmas and grandpas out there and aunties and uncles and everything in between, I know that, sometimes we have some extra cash sitting around, or maybe we have some investment money, or maybe the stocks aren't doing that great. Well, real estate is always a pretty sound and pretty safe investment, and especially when you have the gift of time available to you. So one of the things that we also like to do is help those people also think about diversifying, putting their money in to vacation properties, into rentals, into second homes, Airbnb properties as well, so that you can build a legacy in a portfolio for yourself and for your family. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to retire and create an outlook for yourself where when you retire, you have the ability to have passive income come into your home every single month that you can count on from the properties that you have? It probably seems like an overwhelming task, but I can tell you the average Joe can do it. They just don't realize it because somebody hasn't taken the time to educate them. So if we had webinars coming up to educate you on these exact topics, on ways to create and get an Airbnb, on ways to buy and hold property to have them as investment properties, or perhaps even purchasing a second home that you could rent out temporarily if you wanted to, or just have that second home you've always been dreaming of. And right now, like I said, that Airbnb option, especially for people that are in between when they've sold their home and need temporary housing before getting into that next home, is a really hot market and a great opportunity you could be getting yourself into. Are you a snowbird? Do you go somewhere for a certain number of months? Why not have somebody rent out your house for that period? They could watch your house for you, essentially, be somebody that would be a free person to stay and keep track of your home, and you could make income in the process. Just another thought on that, and that would also help some of the housing shortage issue we have and enable people to be able to move on to that next property too. So, there's ways that we can show you to do this. We're going to have a webinar coming up in just a couple weeks. We'll put it together, post it on all our social media channels. So make sure you follow Starr Realty Group on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube. We've got a ton of great tips and tricks. YouTube.com/Starr Realty Group, 3 R's in a row, and always on Instagram at Starr Realty CT as well. So if there's any other tips and tricks that you have, we would love to hear about it. We've got a ton of great agent friends out there, and we really want to help this housing shortage, and we want to help our buyers and sellers have a level of comfort so that when they're making their next move, they know that they have some place to go. That's the biggest worry that we hear from everybody. I don't know if I'm going to find a place. I don't want to be homeless. These are really big things and big concerns for people. And if we could find a way to alleviate that, we'd love to do that. If you're also somebody that has some extra cash, has been thinking about investing, like I said, you may want to invest right now because there's the opportunity for those people, those sellers that need that temporary housing. I'm going to keep stressing that because it's a great opportunity too. Feel free to reach out to us anytime. My cell is 860-690-0679. If we can ever help you, give you any advice, even tips and tricks to get ready, stage your home to sell, that is something that we love specializing in, or give you advice on what to do to make repairs to your property as well, do not hesitate to give us a call. We would love to help you out. Enjoy the snowflakes flying around today, friends, and make it a great one. Talk to you soon.